I found my grandfather's diary. What I discovered changed everything. Part 2. After discovering my grandfather's diary, I couldn't stop thinking about Lena. The more I read, the more I felt that there was something I was missing. The diary hinted at her family's connection to the French resistance, and it was clear that something tragic happened to her after the war. But there were no specifics, just vague references to how they were forced to flee and how my grandfather lost touch with her. It was maddening. Every time I closed the book, it felt like the truth was just out of reach. I turned to my family, hoping someone could fill in the gaps. But when I mentioned Lena, their responses were always guarded. They knew who she was, but no one ever wanted to talk about her. My grandmother, especially, had always been quiet about Edward's past. I'd heard whispers of a painful story, but nothing concrete. It was like Lena had been erased from our family history, and the more I dug, the more I felt like I was stepping on fragile ground. The mystery surrounding Lena was no longer just about my grandfather's past, it felt like it was a part of something bigger, something that had been hidden for far too long. The more I thought about it, the more obsessed I became. I had to know what happened to Lena. My grandfather's love story wasn't just a forgotten chapter, it was a piece of history that needed to be uncovered. I packed my bags and decided to go to France. Armed with nothing but the diary and some vague references to places mentioned in the entries, I was determined to find the answers. This wasn't just about my grandfather anymore, it was about finally understanding the love that was lost to time. And maybe, just maybe, finding Lena would answer questions I never even knew I had about my own family and its hidden past. The obsession grew so strong that it started consuming my every thought. Even when I wasn't reading the diary or researching online, I found myself imagining what life might have been like for Lena, what it must have been like to live through a time of war and loss, to love and lose someone as my grandfather did. I realized that this wasn't just about answering a mystery. It was about understanding the heartbreak and the stories we inherit without ever knowing their full weight. The more I dug, the more I felt like I was walking in the footsteps of my own ancestors, piecing together fragments of a history long buried, trying to honor the love that never had a chance to bloom.